Hey everybody, welcome back to school after spring break. I hope you all got a little bit of rest. I did a little bit, but I had to work a lot outside and cut a bunch of trees, and I'll show you that later on. Come here, Molly, because I know everybody's been dying. Come here. Yes, yes. Here's Molly. Say hi to the people. Okay. So a few things. I'm gonna be doing these videos every day. One thing, I want to practice my video editing. You guys miss Molly, so I'll show you that. I'm gonna post this on Canvas every day. It'll be as an announcement, so it won't be under any modules. It will be as an announcement. So you need to remember to check that. There'll be a link, or go to my YouTube page, and they'll all be there. I think I'll just name them the date. The way these videos are gonna go is the first section will be for everybody. So I'll talk about what's going on. I'll talk about anything that everybody in the school needs to know, or I'll respond to some of the answers to the questions for the check-in in the morning, because some of those have been really great. I've been wanting to chat with you guys about that. So whatever everybody needs to know, that's what we'll talk about first. And then I will go into each section of class. So I'll do government first, what all the government classes need to know about the assignments that day, then World Civ, and then US History. And what I'll do, so you can kind of speed through this, is I'll just have like a black screen with the name of the class. So if you're in one of the later classes, you can skip ahead and just don't watch the part that pertains to you after you watch the beginning. And then at the end, just for fun, I'll have a what am I doing outside of school these days, yard work, and I'll show you the dog, and we'll do whatever. And whatever you guys want to talk about, leave comments, email me, whatever you want to do. All right, so let's go ahead. I do have some information for each of the classes for the assignments that are up to date on Monday. For government class, it's a graduation requirement now as of a couple years ago that you have to pass a civics test. It's the same test that they give to people who are trying to become naturalized citizens of the United States. To be honest, it's not a hard test, but there's some stuff you need to know. Normally, we would give this to freshmen who are taking government at Ignite, but right now, I'm not sure whether or not we're going to do that. There is an electronic version of it. We might have you do that. Working with Mr. Black and Mr. Gills and Dr. Whitus to figure out that. Regardless, though, we're going to study for it. So probably just this week, I'm going to put up a couple short quizzes. So I think it's 5 or 6 questions today. You can use whatever resources you need to look up the answers to that. So I want you to do it and be exposed to the answers and make sure we have the simple ones down. Then later on, I'll give you some more quizzes and some flashcards that you can go to study, and then eventually I will have you do a practice test of the whole thing. It's 100 questions. So we'll do that we'll get to that next week sometime. Remember to just do that work on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then on Tuesday, Thursdays, remember to go back and do the article analysis every day. That's one thing I'll talk about on here at the beginning section, so remember to do that, and that's very important. That's all I have for government class. Okay, welcome World Civ students. We are going to be back to some of those readings and quizzes. A couple things I wanted to mention about those. Really, we talked about the Cold War. That brings us all the way up to the 90s, which is very recent. So we're going to go back and talk about some trends outside of just the Cold War during a somewhat similar time period, but then we're going to get into modern times here. I'm going to assign one on Monday that's due on Wednesday. The quiz will be due on Wednesday. And then another one I'll assign on Wednesday that will be due Friday. So you'll be doing 2 a week for probably 2 weeks, and then we'll go back to a project. Work on those Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Don't forget to do the article analysis on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are very important. We're going to talk about those at the beginning section of the videos. Yeah, just make sure and do those. They're pretty simple. The one thing that I see people losing points on is make sure you do a thorough summary of the article. Make sure you get in 100 words, and then tell me what you really think about it. Give me something. I want to know that you actually read it and thought about it. That's what I'm looking for in the kind of analysis at the end part. And that's all I got for you today. US History. I came up with what I think is a fun project. We'll see if you agree. If you haven't read about it already, it's called the Superheroes Cold War Project. So just hearing the term superpowers of the United States and the USSR during the Cold War made me think about superheroes and their powers. You've done some readings last week before spring break. You did 3 of those, I think. So you've got some knowledge on the Cold War. Maybe do a refresher, go back and watch a crash course video or something just to bring it back into your mind. But your assignment is to create a story where you turn the United States and the USSR into a superhero. You have to come up with their origin story, what superpowers they have. There needs to be a conflict between the two of them and a resolution. All the details are in Canvas. There's a page. Remember to look at the pages, not just the assignments. There's a page that goes in a little bit more detail. But basically, you're going to have this week to kind of do some research and fill out a really basic outline. It's just, for each of those 4 categories that I listed, you need to tell me what's going to happen in your story and what are the actual historical facts that you're kind of drawing from or making an analogy of for your story. And then, so that'll be due Friday, and then the final product will be due the following Friday. You have a lot of freedom here. You can write this as a script, as a story, as a comic strip. You could do a video, however you want to do it. Lots of freedom on that. Oh yes, the most important thing on this is demonstrating knowledge of the Cold War. So the story part is cool, and I'm sure you guys will come up with some cool art, which is great, and I love seeing it. Make sure though that your cool art demonstrates that you understand the Cold War and some of the facts. So you're going to talk about, there's a little bit more information in the assignment, but make sure and look at that and include that in there. And then don't forget that you're going to work on those on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and on Tuesday and Thursday do the article analysis. Those are very important. We're going to talk about those at the beginnings of the videos, and I just think it's really important to keep up with what's going on right now. I think that's all I've got for U.S. history. Let me know if you have any questions on that assignment.